Who will play the 16th Doctor? This is a question that the internet has been asking for quite a while now, because there's rumour after rumour, apparent leak after leak, saying that Ncuti Gatwa will in fact be leaving the role as the Doctor at the end of this season. And by the end of this season, I literally mean in a couple of days' time. Like, that's mad. There's nothing confirmed. So he may not be leaving, and quite frankly, I hope he's not leaving, because he's doing so well as the Doctor at the moment. Like, if we get another season or two of Ncuti, I'm probably going to have him in my top 5 Doctors. I really think his character and Ncuti deserve longer to inhabit this role, but who knows? With Disney not commissioning as quick as the BBC would have liked, with all the turmoil in the land of TV, who knows what's happening? We know that there were reshoots for Season 2 back in February. What those reshoots contained, we're yet to find out. Now, there's also been apparent leaks. I mean, a bunch of people keep coming in my comments and saying, X person is the next Doctor. And this person it's too mad to be true. Okay, I have also been emailed, like, leaked images of this person playing the Doctor. Like, apparently, at the end of the next episode, the Doctor's going to regenerate into this former companion. But I'm not being funny. I just don't believe it. There's a picture as well. I won't put it in this video on the very, very tiny chance that it is true. But yeah, we'll unpack all that. We'll unpack who that former companion that maybe the next Doctor is going to be, because I don't believe it. But let's start this video before we discuss casting options for the 16th Doctor, because I've got a little list of people that it could be. We'll start this video by looking at this article from The Sun. Now, this article is actually a more up-to-date version of an article they posted, I think, 3 or 4 days ago, in which they make the very, very bold and very brave claim that Ncuti Gatwa was in fact axed from Doctor Who because he pulled out of Eurovision. Now, for those of you who don't know, Ncuti was supposed to be the spokesperson for the UK. He was going to, like, announce the points or whatever they do on Eurovision. But we don't know why he didn't do it. He pulled out, I think, literally like the day or possibly 2 days before. Now, obviously, it can be assumed that the BBC was hoping to get Ncuti in that role, so you have big Interstellar Song Contest episode, then the actual Doctor at real Eurovision. But with all the politics behind the scenes and the conflict with Israel and Gaza, it's quite understandable that Ncuti Gatwa may have gone, yeah, okay, I don't want to take part in this competition. We don't know that's his reasoning for backing out. It could be literally anything. So The Sun directly claiming this is slightly wild. But yeah, they claim, basically, that Ncuti Gatwa abandoned the Eurovision Song Contest at the last minute for moral reasons, and that the BBC was absolutely fuming about that. So that, combined with the, as they call it, ratings nosedive, will mean Ncuti Gatwa has been fired from Doctor Who. They say, look, this is The Sun, it didn't happen, let's be real, but they say, a TV insider says, bosses were incredibly disappointed. Ncuti, as the Doctor, is one of the corporation's most high-profile faces. His withdrawal was incredibly embarrassing. It caps what has been a largely depressing tenure in the TARDIS for Ncuti. Yeah, the guy who's written this article, I'm pretty sure, Rod McPhee. Rod. Come on, Rod. What are you doing, Rod? Rod has written some relatively ropey articles in the past. I think he did another Doctor Who one that we may have covered. The name Rod is giving me flashbacks. You know, like how the new RTD2 era flashbacks to whenever there's a villain. I feel like we're getting flashbacks to Rod McPhee. Rod, I invite you on the channel. I want to debate your utter lies in the Sun newspaper. Come here, it'll be good fun. But no, he says execs are likely to rest the 62-year-old show, which contradicts with the sort of leaks that were coming the other week, where it was basically confirmed, and I believe it to be true, quite frankly, that no matter whether Ncuti stays or Ncuti goes, they are going to continue Doctor Who. Doctor Who's not just going to stop. And I think it probably will continue. Look at the amount of money it makes. Like, merch sales, all this. I mean, I find it bizarre that they've only just released the Doctor Who, like, Ncuti Gatwa 15th Doctor and Millie Gibson Ruby Sunday Barbie dolls. That's something that should have been released over a year ago. So, on the merch front, they are lacking. But if you look at DVD sales, even classic DVDs go straight to the top of the charts on, like, Amazon, etc. So, when, like, do you know what I mean? When the BBC could either make Doctor Who or not make Doctor Who and try something else that might fail, like, do you know what? Doctor Who's a relatively safe option to keep producing. Now, this article actually does address that because Ncuti has apparently been fired, which he hasn't, let's be real, let's just get that clear. We do have a statement from the BBC, which I'm going to read in a moment, but it says that it's unlikely we will see who Ncuti regenerates into, as the Beeb will keep options open, and if they do rest the show for years, it makes it virtually impossible to cast someone now. This is the only valid point that this entire article makes, but it's fair. If the show is going to be put on a minor hiatus, or if, which we know for a fact they haven't got the commission for another season yet, Russell has made it abundantly clear since I think about November that they are not going to find out whether Doctor Who Season 3 is happening until Season 2 is finished, which is only in a week's time. I think they're going to want to see the reception of the reality war and just the entire season as a whole and the viewing figures as a whole before they decide whether to commission or whether to bin it off. And in that sort of position, would an actor take on that role? Would they go, yes, I'll play the Doctor? On one hand, you've got David Tennant, who effectively did that, because I think before they'd got the Season 2 commission, Eccleston said he wanted to leave the show, and Russell cast Tennant in the role. So perhaps it will be someone Russell's already worked with, someone he's close to, like Lydia West. But as I say, I've always cast Lydia West as a companion. Maybe she could be the Doctor, but we will come to the list of people who could play the 16th Doctor and that silly leak in a moment. Because first, let's completely dispel the Sun article. So I'm sorry, Rod, but the truth is out. The BBC, so this is an article from the Metro. BBC slam claims that Ncuti Gatwa has been axed from Doctor Who as pure fiction. This is Tom. Maybe we need Rod and Tom Percival to have like a boxing match. I'd be here for that. Right, sorry. I'll just read the article. But the BBC says, whilst we never comment on the future of the Doctor, any suggestion that Ncuti Gatwa has been axed is pure fiction. There you go. Pure fiction. That's from the mouth of the BBC itself. That doesn't, however, tell us whether there will be a regeneration. That's still a possibility. They haven't confirmed, they haven't denied. They have done this every single time anybody asks about, is there going to be a regeneration coming up? Even going back to Jodie, even going back to Capaldi, they just go, we don't comment on the future of stories, which is good. To be fair, like, they're not leaking it. They're not telling you. Ncuti, I think it's a very 50-50. He might regenerate, he might not. I'm hoping he doesn't. We just don't know. But it's nice and confirmed there that he has not been axed. Ncuti has not been forced out. If Ncuti has left the role, it's on good terms, well, probably on good terms with everybody, and it's probably for his career, similar to how Matt Smith left the show to try and go and be big American Hollywood star, and then was in that terrible Terminator film. But yeah, hopefully Ncuti stays away from the Terminator franchise. So let's run with nothing confirmed, but let's say there is going to be a regeneration soon. Would cutting to black work? Would Russell want the show to just end on a big cliffhanger? I don't think he would. Russell deliberately put in the David Tennant regeneration, like the Jodie Whittaker to David Tennant regeneration. He added that in after Chris Chibnall said that the power of the Doctor cuts to black at the end of that regeneration, because he wants the show to keep powering forward. I do understand that idea. So I think there's a very likely chance that Russell would be in talks with someone. As I say, Lydia West is the one that immediately springs to mind, someone he's worked with in the past, someone who's a fantastic actor, and would probably take on the role. But you've got to consider how has Lydia West not been used in Doctor Who yet? Like, Russell's used her in Years and Years and It's a Sin. Like, he knows the actress quite well. I'm surprised. Maybe he's saving her. Maybe she's auditioned or auditioning for the role of the 16th Doctor. Now, I do just want to address the other wild possibility. I say wild, it's not that wild, it's happened before. Tennant coming back. No, stop it. Stop saying that. I don't think Tennant will come back, and I don't think Tennant should come back. Like, it would show a complete lack of faith in the programme if he just regenerated into Tennant again, or that if they did like a Shooty Gatwa won't be available for filming for a while because he's off doing a play, thus we will bring in Tennant for a few episodes. I don't think that would work. However, there is another Doctor that I think would work for that. I'll discuss that in a moment. But yeah, another wild possibility, right, is Richard E. Grant. Why else would they have put the Schalke Doctor's face in the Rogue episode last year? Was that a little clue? Was that something? I mean, I don't think it's going to happen, and I think it was just a funny little Easter egg. I think it was just Russell and team messing with everybody, which is quite fun. But yeah, you can never be too sure. Maybe the Schalke Doctor will be properly in the show, even though when you think back to it, some of the Russell I don't think very much liked the Schalke Doctor, although he put him in Rogue, so who knows. Other actors, obviously my dream actor for the Doctor is Dev Patel. Like, I think he's probably he's definitely too high profile now. Doctor Who missed a trick not casting him when he was still like working on BBC shows, and like he did like Skins. If he did Skins, he'd play the Doctor, but that's what he was too young back then. But Dev Patel would bring all of the like charm, charisma, wit, and still a little bit alien. Like all of those essential parts of being the Doctor, he'd 100% deliver on. So yeah, I'd say Dev Patel would be pretty good. Richard Gadd is another possibility that people have been throwing around, the guy who did Baby Reindeer. I don't know, to be honest, on Richard Gadd. I will probably... No, you know what? I will support almost any pick for the Doctor, because I think the character's so versatile, you can kind of go in any direction with the Doctor. But yeah, Richard Gadd, I don't quite see him as the Doctor, but he's a very talented actor, and he's got the comedy, he's got all of that, and he does look like a little bit crazy. Like, he's got a little bit of the Doctor in him. So I wouldn't immediately go no. Another suggestion is Ambika Mod. Yeah, I could see her playing the Doctor. That would be pretty cool. I don't have many comments. I don't know exactly what angle she'd take the Doctor. Versatile actor. Could take it in any way. Like, I've said this many times before as well. Another pick. Obviously, she's too old now, but if there's an actress similar to Miriam Margolyes, I think that would be such a fun incarnation of the Doctor. Like, a crotchety old woman who's very funny, who, I've literally described it in one of my other videos, but who has, like, big science goggles on her head. She's a bit of an inventor. She's a little bit scatterbrained. Like, that would be such a fun and unique incarnation of the Doctor, and I could see that happening. Like, do you know what I mean? Change it up a bit. Don't always go for the young male Doctor. Like, change it up, make it different. I have also seen people suggest Saran Jones, who played Idris. Potentially, yeah. I mean, she did very well in the role as like the living TARDIS, so I could see it. Not impossible. But here's my ideal case scenario for the entire show. Right, before we get on to who this apparent Doctor casting is, in an ideal world, and I mean ideal, like this isn't going to happen probably, fingers crossed, I would like, if Shooty, because of the recommissioning, I'd like Shooty to stay on, but let's say he's busy filming a play this year, he can't film a Christmas special, he maybe can't film for a little while, maybe till next year or something. What I think the BBC should do is, and it depends on where the reality war goes, but hopefully the reality war will end with Omega being unleashed rather than defeated. He's such a powerful villain. He's such a villain that you build up to. Like, I've been saying for years, Doctor Who needs a Thanos-type threat. Keep Omega as that. Have his arc span multiple seasons. You can kind of do it in a Flux-like way where you have individual episodes, but there's this constant, ongoing, threatening presence. I think that'll be the way forward with Omega. And let's say Ncuti, as I say, he can't do this year's Christmas special, whatever. You do a flashback, right? To, like, because you could start out with the 15th Doctor. You could definitely get Ncuti for a day. Maybe he's telling a story to Belinda or to another companion who's like, oh, what happened with Omega? And you do a flashback to history that we'd never seen before, maybe revealed by Omega, maybe whoever, of the fugitive Doctor, right? You do a mini adventure, or maybe two, like a Christmas special and a New Year's special, 2-part story of the fugitive Doctor in the past against Omega. Kind of like the style of Tales of the TARDIS, sorry, but like a new story, new film story. Like that could be quite cool. Obviously, that's that, and then you finish season 3 off with Ncuti Gat, where he defeats Omega at the end of it and then regenerates. That would be ideal case scenario for me, because I like Omega, I like Joe Martin, and they did tease with Joe Martin. They were like, oh, it's a story that'll be finished one day. When will that day be, guys? When will that day be? But let's discuss the leak that's definitely not true. Billie Piper is the 16th Doctor. Look, there's such a tiny possibility that it is true, but I can't, especially the fake leaked image, well, the reported leaked image, it's just, there's no way. This is the problem with Doctor Who leaks now, because there's also apparently a leaked design for Omega flying around the internet, which I have seen. It's just AI though. Like, this is the trouble with AI. It's one of the minor problems with AI, but it is still a problem with AI. People think that leaks created by AI are real, which in a way is good, because it stops anyone from knowing what on earth's going to happen in the show. But yeah, no, I'm sorry guys, it's not happening. Billie Piper would not be the 16th Doctor. The only way that could be quite cool is if they are having a break or a rest for the show. You'd start and end with Rose. Do you know what I mean? Like, there could be some nice sort of poetry in that the Doctor regenerates into Rose for what we... Like, to cap off all of New Who. Russell started with Rose, and Russell ends with the Rose Doctor, effectively. Like, that could be quite cool. I also think Billie Piper would be good in the role, to be honest. Like, she's got that Doctor eccentricity, and she's a very strong actress. I saw her in, I think it's a play called Yerma. I think that's what it's called. But yeah, she is incredibly talented. Not that we didn't already know that from her work on Doctor Who, but yeah, she's had 20 years to sort of grow and change. So it's not impossible. I think it's just probably quite unlikely. I mean, I would also say a former companion like Jenna Coleman. Like, Jenna Coleman would be a fantastic Doctor. I think, yeah, but I don't think they do it. I think it's the same thing with bringing back David Tennant in a way. Does it almost show like a lack of faith in new things and that we have to rely on the past? Like, I don't know. I'd be here for it because I think Billie Piper's a good actress, but I would have concerns. But we'll just have to wait and see. Let me know who you think should play the 16th Doctor. Do you think there's any truth to any of these rumours? Do you think Ncuti's even regenerating? Because at this point, I've got a feeling he might not be. But we'll just have to wait and see. Thank you very much for watching this video. As ever, if you did enjoy, please do remember to like, comment, subscribe and share. You know the drill. Thank you and goodbye.
Don't forget to click below and subscribe to the official Confused Adipose YouTube channel.
I will destroy you!
She's not seen a single episode.
No, I've watched your episodes.
Keep these sonic screwdrivers.
What else am I saying about the film? Don't watch this one.